All right, let's talk about why this is a great game.
So one of the great things about this game is if you mess up early on, it doesn't mean you're going to lose. You can recover. Although conversely, what we just saw was how I played is one mistake at the end can cost you. And so I think that's good. I'd rather have it mess up at the end than at the beginning have the whole fate determined.
Well, the only luck in the game is the initial setup of the drawing of the tiles and who gets to go first.
Yeah, so if we look at how we started this one, for example, I chose here because I want to try to get advantage of all this area here, but you also put two people here. And so I spent a lot of resources trying to block you.
Right.
Which we see was great. I blocked you. I got all this that I wanted, but you have all this territory here and all that up there as a result.
I think the initial placement was a toss-up. Really, the whole game came down to the fact that I only noticed, and you didn't notice, that there was a problem on one of these two spaces if you left them unprotected.
Yeah, and I saw here. I'd left them protected, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna count on you having to draw somebody from here so these guys can attack. So I set up for it, but I wasn't thinking that once you move somebody over here, once I've gone too far away.
That's right.
I went too far away.
When you moved away, I noticed that was my chance. Yeah. But see, that's what I think is the best part about this game is the fact that aside from the little bit of luck in the initial layout of the board and who gets to go first, because there's something to be said of having to put your one castle down, the other guy puts 3, and then you have to put your last 2. That could affect the initial. If you make a mistake with that first layout and the other person makes a mistake in the layout, you can realize, oh man, now all of these 5-point ones are for you. But ultimately the game comes down to sort of like chess. It's really a matter of who blinks first. If I make a mental mistake at any point that you can exploit, that's where the game is won or lost.
The other good thing about this game is it can be a conflict game, but it doesn't have to be. But you're limited in your number of knights. So if I try to spread wide, I've used up all my knights and all my villages, and so I can't hold all that territory for that long. So at some point, I've spread wide trying to avoid conflict, but it opens me up for you to come take my stuff.
That's right. And it actually is a resource management game as much as it is an area control.
Yeah.
Because timing when it is that you have enough knights to make it worth your while, it requires efficiency. Even in this game, you were about to win the game because my math was 1 point short. I love how somehow, I can't understand all the math, but somehow the tiles seem to come up just short of what you need to make that extra set to move up on the scoring track.
And I think you're right about efficiency. The other thing is, I only want to turn in 15 points to move, because if you turn in 17 points, you lose those 2.
That's right. It's like a whole mountain that you've wasted.
That's right.
So it rewards the person who has the most efficiency at the end of the. It's your mental attrition and efficiency that are rewarded here. There's really no excuse if you win or lose. It usually comes down to something that you didn't do that your opponent did. Yeah, and it's not like a throw of the dice.
Yeah, you're right. It's covering your bases. For example, you can't get through here because I've covered this. Great. Okay, now I've got to keep a knight here. So now I've got all this sectioned off, and that's smart, but I've got to remember to keep that knight there. Same thing here. I got to remember to keep the knight here. You having a pawn here keeps me from coming through here. You got to keep a knight here. So any other time, it's resource management. I need this knight to go somewhere else. Well, now he's vulnerable. So it's remembering all these things I have in check, all these things I have placed to protect myself.
And the area control is also enhanced by the use of the strongholds, which act as a city, but you can actually decide where the lines are going to be drawn. Yeah. But then you're right. This was not an issue for about 15 minutes. And then when you forgot that the reason why that wasn't an issue is because we were both basically in a Cold War there. and you thought, oh, I'm going to move out there, and then I wasn't even paying attention, and just watching you move your piece go, he's got 2 villages and only 1 knight. If I move this guy into there, I've got 2 guys here, he's screwed basically.
In my original plan, I think if you'll see, I put 2 here even though I could have put 3 here. And then I put the other 2 here thinking I'm going to come down here and take advantage. Well, you move 1 guy. Well, that 1 move defeats the purpose. I can't go there. I can't go here. I can't go here. These guys are landlocked.
They have the only thing they can do is possibly make it here, but that's 3 turns. Basically, to convert that into points.
Right, so I lost this extra guy I could have put here who would have been in position to go protect that. So I see an opportunity, and it's that momentary lapse that allows, that opens the door.
Right. I mean, the rules are about as simple as a game can have. And then what else I like about it is that when it's all said and done, it looks epic. Like on the table, it just looks like chess to me. The wooden pieces, the layout, it's very good.
The other good thing is if we had a 3rd player, we're not fighting over the same area. We add 9 more tiles, and we still have the same decisions to make in terms of, am I going to do a land grab, or am I going to go battle people to get my point? So the board expands as you add players, so it keeps the same token. You got the same fight.
Yeah, I think on a scale of like 1 to great, I put this game at very good. It's very good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to give it a number, but I feel like it's above a solid game. It's more than a solid game. And
this is a good one when I lose like this, I can say, hey, screw you, let's play again. And it doesn't take long to put new tiles out. We play again in 20 minutes, we're done.
That's right.
I've lost and I'm crying again.
As a 2-player game, this is strictly a 30-minute game if you're thinking. It took us longer to put out our initial cities, even if I edited it out of the video. It took us longer to make our initial decisions than it pretty much did to play the game. It was about certainly half as long to play the game.
Yeah, an initial placement does matter. I said earlier that mistakes in the beginning. Initial placement is key. You can certainly win the game.
You can hinder yourself. And again, if the efficiency comes down to I'm 1 tile short of being able to cash in and end the game, well, maybe initial placement did make a big difference. I just didn't realize it at the time. I've never been disappointed with this game any time I've played it.
You have been disappointed with your opponent, but not the game itself.
My opponent sucks.
Correct.